Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode 6 of the Questionable Podcast. Today I'm doing a solo podcast because, one, I didn't have anyone to do this with me, and whoever I asked, they just didn't show up. So we may get some people in and out, but today we're doing Overwatch 2 Ultimates tier list. Now, as someone, if you're probably playing Overwatch, obviously, why aren't you watching this video? A lot of these ults are going to be very impactful, very game-changing, very broken type of ultimates that come about during the game. Some of them are very good for killing and getting a big, huge 5-man feed. Some of them are very situational. They're used for another ult. Some of them are very supportive. So we're just going to dive into all of them and just see what I put them. I'm going to try to take my bias out of this, but some of them are in my bias concerning because, I have some very ones that I deem special. So let's kickstart this off. First off, we have Ash's Bob. Now, I actually really like Bob. However, I feel like he's definitely avoidable. Depends on how you place him. So you have to be good with the ult itself. So for me, I think it's going to drop into the C tier. Now, Bob is good. Don't get me wrong. It's just you're going to have to throw him in a specific spot, especially against the squishies. The squishies being, the characters are in the 200, 300s health. Don't throw it at a tank because it's just going to focus the tank only. And it's just, you're not going to get anything out of that. It also would help getting nanoed or having a kitsune on them, stuff like that. So that helps it to get more kills. But it also can definitely be able to be used as more coverage to have a team go into a certain direction away from Bob, so then you can attack the team the other way. So I'm pretty conflicted on it, but I think C for me is where it's gonna go. Next, we have, speaking of the devil, Ana's Nano. Well, Ana's Nano, it depends on who you throw it to and if they're good or not. But for the perspective, if we're throwing it to a player that's good, like a diva, like any tank, or if you throw it in a combination with someone's ult, I think it could be very good. So I'm going to put it up into the A tier. It's definitely one of the situational type ults where someone has their ult, they're like, hey, throw it, I'm throwing my ult, and then you go and get a bunch of kills, especially with later on with Genshi's blade known as the Nano Blade. And the Nano Blade is cracked, especially when it goes through, you can literally one-shot people. So, definitely I think Ana's Nano is very situational, but also it can definitely be impactful in a team fight. Next, we have Baptiste's wall, or his damage wall. This is tough. Depends on how the wall is placed and everything. I think it's gonna be my first S tier. I think this is very good, especially where it goes into, you have someone with big tanks like Diva and Mauga. I call him Maui because it's literally Maui. Or if you have Ball or Mantra, it's very good. And also, again, it's good for all combinations. With a lot of supports, that's really how it's going to fall, with a lot of support all combinations. I think it's definitely situational in terms of you're down in the fight, you're trying to move the payload or something like that. But yes, very solid. I think it's very good. Next, we have Bastion's ult, which he turns into a mortar, and he shoots down 3 rockets. This one is probably going to be down here in the C tier for me because it also depends on when you're throwing it, people can definitely move out of the way. It's very avoidable. You can get away from it really fast. If you have Reinhardt, you can just block it with a shield, stuff like that. It definitely it could be a factor in a team fight. Unless if you have someone like a Zarya ult, we're going to talk about it later on, or if you have things to block out for people, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's kind of where it's going to go for me. Next, we have Briggs. alt, which basically like she just gives people a bunch of health around her, and then she has like a bigger shield, which she can use a lot more often. This is also like a kind of like, I don't want to say a mediocre alt per se, but it definitely at least like it's another one of those situational alts, which with all supports it's a situational alt. I think um I think it's like another C one for me because I mean it just depends on how you use it and where you're gonna use it and who you're gonna hit with it. It makes Break feel like a DPS in most fashions. It doesn't really like the extra health that you're getting is not gonna like really help out in much conditions. Like you probably do it just to stop a big ult dump from a team. So it's not too bad. Um, Next we have Doomfist's ult. Doomfist has his ult where he jumps up in the air and it's basically kind of the same thing as Bastion's ult, where it has like that little platform and then he can go down to the ground and smash and he gains overhealth. So I think this is very solid. I think it's at least. Ooh, this is tough. I'm considering between A or B. Um, I mean, I'm putting in B. It's not. It won't be very. You shouldn't guide on it to be impactful in a team fight, but it is helpful. Especially when you're at least you get one person out of it, especially like a support character. It could change. It will like change the tide of the battle that way, but don't expect for it to get like amazing results. It just depends on the map and what position people are in the map. So it's definitely one of those tough situations. So we actually for Diva, she has two separate ults. She has her explosion mech, and then she has the mech call down. So I'm gonna kind of like they're both separate in their own regards. So for me, for the for the Diva Bomb, Diva Bomb is definitely up in S here. This also is a little bias concerning because I am a Diva main. I love playing as Diva, especially with the Diva Bomb. It's really great. It's amazing. Okay. Well, nice to know Adobe is updated. But yeah, it's such a great all. I mean, it does a lot of damage. It covers a lot of ground. The only problems that I can see you facing with it, especially with shields, and you can also go in towards like the Sigma ability where you can deflect damage. That is also a factor in like obviously like Reinhardt's shield, Briggs' shield, Ramatra's shield. But yeah, definitely if you're like throwing, you can throw this like it's so versatile to throw the Diva ult in so many different ways. You can throw it up, you can throw it down, you can charge it in. A new thing I tried to do was I would like dive, like I would be on the ground and I would dive a little bit, and I would make it go slow, so like people would think I'm gonna shoot it fast. So like I'm gonna keep it there, but it's like moving like like snail's pace, and then it explodes like that. Now I tried that once and it didn't go my way, but I mean it just shows how versatile the Diva is and how much you can do around it. Um, Again, I was talking about how like big the damage is. You see people get like double kills, triple kills, quads, and even to like you can use it to attack like just the supports or something like that, and or like attack just the DPS to just knock them off their feet, and then you just finish up the rest of it. With the Diva mech, I would say it's definitely you shouldn't use it viable to kill someone with, unless if you're really in a bad position, then you're like, okay, I might as well just throw it and see what happens. For me, it's definitely not as good as the Diva Bomb. However, I would put it at least top of B tier, especially because it charges up really fast and you're able to get back in your mech, get back in the game. It keeps Diva alive for a lot longer than she should. So like with that, I mean like what's there not to love about the mech, and killing people is really funny with it, and especially like they don't even have to be that close of radius of the diva bomb to kill someone with it. You can be like at least a couple feet off, you know. So that makes it really good. Echo's clone ability. Now this is actually insane. This is a cracked ability, like a cracked all for her, and especially because she can morph into any one of these characters on here and do something crazy with it. Like, let's just say you didn't have a Genji and there's a Nano. You can use the cloning from Echo, turn into the Genji blade, and just do something like that. It's absolutely cracked. So I'm gonna have to put it in, like, at least top of S tier because, I mean, sure, the only downside I can see to it is you don't have as much health as that main hero you pick would, but you get that all charge fast. And then like you just do your thing. It's insane, and you're able to use any of these alts to win a team fight, and that shows like a lot of versatileness. Is there like a present tense of versatile? Like it's just good. It's just good. Yeah. Next we got the Genji blade. Now the Genji blade I think is not good on its own. However, like we were talking about with the Ana Nano, and that's what makes the Genji blade the Genji blade. I would say the Genji blade is only good when it goes towards fighting people with what's it called? Like just fighting the supports, just trying to kill them off, and then that's all you're doing with it. You can get your dash like faster in this form. I would say it would probably, for me, be bottom V because you're still able to use it and you could get something out of it. Like, yeah. So, yeah, you're able to get something. You could probably still get something out of it if you're at least a decent Genji, and you can like just use your head to like wrap around, get the supports, and then you're able to like, just break the team down to keep moving on. Next, we have the Hanzo alt where he shoots the two dragons out in a straight line. I mean, I want to say this opinion feels like controversial. However, for me, just me looking at it, at least I would say it's in the reverse D tier. Now, I mean, I like the alt itself. I like the looks of the alt, especially when it goes towards the mythic skin for Hanzo. However, this is so avoidable. This is probably one of the most avoidable alts in the game, unless if you're able to use it in a specific way. And two, like Diva can eat the alt too. Like Diva can eat this alt, and that's it. Like you just wasted all that ult charge for nothing, and then you wasted it in a team fight. So you have to play it very you play it very safe when you're trying to throw this ult. You gotta know like your surroundings and know what's going around. So yeah, for that I'm giving it the first and the D tier. I mean like it's not bad. It's just that like I wouldn't personally would use it in a team fight. If like we're down in the game, this is not something that you should rely on to get wins. So next we got the Junkrat alt. Now the Junkrat alt is actually really really good. Especially you can use this to take out supports. You can use it just to wrap around and just take out people. I think this is definitely up here in our A tier because I would put it up higher. However, there's definitely a problem with like the health, which I mean the health should be like this. It should not be buffed anyway, but like you could get this destroyed pretty easily if you're not careful with it. So I mean, me playing as Junkrat, I couldn't count how many times I thought this play was amazing. I thought I could get this good. Like the whole team's there, and then it's just destroyed. Yeah, it's rough. You gotta like be strategic with it. You gotta like throw it when the time is right. But when it hits, when that time goes, you could definitely see a big difference. Next, we got Lucio's ult, which definitely I mean I don't think I really need to explain myself during this. I think it's definitely the best in the support category for ults. obviously, like, when all your team is low and you're Lucio, so you can't really heal as much as all the other supports, you throw this, and then you're able to recover quickly, and then you're able to push the team out. Unless they have Lucio, and he throws his ult right after yours. But, like, we're not talking about that perspective there. So, yeah, no, definitely Lucio has one of the best ults in the game. It is so versatile. You can use it in almost any position. Like, if there's only two people on there, you and someone else, and there's a 5 stack coming to kill you, you can use it just to at least keep some percentage going, and then you're, like, able to have your team come back fast enough. So, yeah, very good. Very useful. Next, we got McCree or Cassidy's Deadeye, which is also a very good ult, especially if you're good with it and careful. It's also kind of like one of those things, too. Like, the D.Va can eat the ult, but it's very tough, especially how you play. It's how you play with McCree and how you can get it done. But definitely, I would have to say it would be at least middle of the pack for me. It's a very good ult. You can use it in very many different ult combinations. You can use it to, like, to maneuver around the map. You can use it as protection. Just if you hold it for way too long, obviously, people are gonna know, and then you're gonna get destroyed. So next we have May's ult, which brings a snow robot, and it brings a bunch of snow all right around, and it freezes people. This is definitely another goated ult. I think it's definitely, like, highest right now. Especially, it's very useful in any position, especially if there's like 3 or more people. I know I have a clip actually on the channel, me playing as Kiriko, where my friend was playing as May. He threw his ult, and I just went as Kiriko and just got all headshots. Like, it was just that easy to win the team fight. So definitely, I think it's at least it's deserving in that S rank, and it is pretty crazy. Next, we have Mercy's ult, which basically is just her flying around. People sometimes use like DPS Mercy. Sometimes some people are like heal, and everyone gets healing, everyone gets damage. For me, I think this ult was definitely not as good as the old Overwatch ult, which she could res the whole team. So I think it's going to also be in D tier. I mean, this could help in a team fight, but it's just like sometimes it's like, at least when you're playing, it may not help as much. Not as compared as all the other support ults that are on this list. But definitely I would prefer the old resing ult so much better. Because when you, like, I can remember in old Overwatch 1 games, when you killed the entire team, the Mercy would just come back and just res the whole team, like all 5 people back, and they would continue the fight, and then they would have a chance to win it. It's absolutely insane. I can definitely see why they changed it, but I don't really like the change as much. So that's where it's going to go for me. So my voice is getting dry. Next is Moira's. Yeah, Moira's ult, which basically she can shoot both damage and healing out. It definitely isn't good in the damage range, which I don't think... I mean, that's what people use it for sometimes, just like for defense. But I think it's mostly used just for the healing aspect. So I would give it at least... I would probably put it here in the C tier. Yeah, again, like, it's very tough to get a kill on this ult. It's really just used as for healing. This could be a factor in helping out in a team fight. Other than that, it's just really, really tough to be able to use this in a damage perspective, not just as a support perspective. Which, I mean, that's not bad. Like, obviously not a lot of these ults are used for damage, but definitely at least it doesn't have that factor to play, especially for a Moira that is big on damage. You see the DPS Moiras all over the place, just getting kills left and right. Yeah, But definitely, I mean, I'm not saying that they should buff this all in the slightest. I don't think they should. That would be crazy. But, yeah. Next, we have here the Orisa ult, which was first something that she would place down for everyone to get a damage boost. That definitely was not good, and that did not do Orisa justice. So now that she has this like speeder thing, um, that she has, where basically she spins the speeder around, brings people close to her, and then she can get up to how many percent or up to 300%, and then get the most amount of damage. It's definitely a very good ult. I would say it would be right here. I'd say an 8 tier. Because, I mean, it's a very good ult, especially if there's people low. Like, if the enemy team is low around you. I mean, it's going to kill everyone. And if you get at least up to, like, 100, 150%. But if you're just, like, throwing this out, you're standing still the whole time. So it makes you very vulnerable. And then you can, like, die pretty fast. And sometimes it won't change the team fight that much if you mess up the ult. We're just talking about Overwatch. It's like Overwatch 2. Also, this is a Orisa's ult, so I'm going to bring it all the way down there. Next, we have Pharah's Rockets. Now, Pharah's Rockets are, I mean, they're amazing. So we got up here in the S tier. I think they're not as good as the Diva Bomb, but they're good enough. I would say it's definitely its most strongest when combined with another ult like Zarya's Gravitational Pull ult. I think it's when it shows its strongest strengths. But it alone, since we're talking about at least all these ults on their own, I think that it's still good on the damage side, but you definitely would have to play it smart to get kills, especially against like that that enemy pick, you know. Basically, for this, like, you're gonna have to go for supports or go for like a DPS or something like that if you're throwing this solo. Yeah, but at least if you have a great gravitational pull, you won't even need to worry about that. You probably only need to worry if they have like a Reinhardt or a Ramattra or something like that. But next we have the Reaper ult, which he just spins around in a circle and shoots guns. I think this ult can probably be deflected in many ways. I think it's like Sigma, Diva. They can all really block him pretty well. So I'd say it's probably the best in the B tier. It's still a very good ult. It's like one of those things with Pharah. You have to play it situationally. It depends on what happens. You can't always rely on people to give you the alt combination. So you kind of have to play it smart. You have to watch out for a sleep dart when you throw it, because then you're just gonna get slept on and die. But overall, I would say it was a very decent ult, and it provides a lot of good damage. And definitely it could turn the tide to win a team fight. Next we have Reinhardt's Hammer Down. Alright, or Shatter, but I like the Hammer Down. Actually, I have another short on the channel. I mean, I'm just plugging the channel ridiculously right now. I mean, yeah, somehow. Yeah, but it's when I was playing as Reinhardt in a quick play game, and I jumped off the tower of Eichenwald, did a 360, and hammered down. Sure, I only got like 2-3 people off of that, but it was just really good at how I played it, and I really liked how that short turned out, so I had to plug that in. But this is a very good ult, especially when it goes towards tanks. I would say it's definitely avoidable, especially with a bunch of shields like Zarya's, another enemy Rhines. But definitely when thrown, especially if everyone's close together, this can be very good, and especially with another ult combination like all the other ones that we have on here and haven't talked about yet, makes it very good. I'm going to probably have to put it in the A tier. I don't think it makes it to the S tier in that regard, but I think it's definitely a very solid pick. Okay, we have Roadhog's ult, which basically just pulls out a machine gun and just starts shooting, and then it gives like knockback effect. Again, this is one of those ones that depends on the map. Like if you're playing like Ilios, there's a lot of places you can throw people off the map. You can get a lot of kills that way. Or if you're playing like on like Route 66, if they're on the one side where they can get thrown off. Um, yeah, it's definitely a very positional ult. My bad. Um, I would say like you really shouldn't count it out too much because you can obviously pin someone to the wall and destroy them that way. I would say it's probably right here on C tier. It doesn't provide a lot of damage, but it definitely pushes them off of the point for the team to be able to get there and do work. Next is Sigma's ult, where she just grabs everyone that's in a circle and brings them up and pulls them back down. I would say this one's pretty good. It also depends. It was like the same thing with Orisa's ult. It depends if people are low in the ults. Depends on who you get. And also, like another good thing is you can shoot people while you're in the ult when you're bringing them down, so that you could injure people more. So I would say it's definitely better than the Orisa ult in that way. So I would put it at least right here on the A tier. And also you can do all combinations with this one too. That makes it really good. So yeah, I'm just kind of like blitzing through these. I don't think I'm gonna even get to an hour long, which I mean it's all right. As we're at 26 minutes, that's insane. Man, see, this is why I need someone to be here with me. So then it's just not me talking. But it's fine. We were able to move on through this. You're probably tired of my voice only because of me doing the Rome games, doing the Rome series, and that's the only thing that you ever hear me here do. I guess if I'm doing my Overwatch series or like Lethal Company, if you ever go bring that back, which I mean, hey, comment if you want to bring it back. So, and next we have Soldier 76's Tactical Visor, which I mean I don't think I need to put into perspective how good it is. I think it's definitely at least up here. You can attack the back line, get all the squishies, kill them off. Really easy work. So very solid all. Even better with like a nano and stuff like that, or like a kitsune. So yeah, like it's like a legit aimbot. So I mean, it's you can't really say it's bad. It's just there's bad people that are bad with it. You just gotta use it situationally. Next we have Sombra's hack, and with Sombra's hack, she can basically run into like a group of people and just hack the whole team. I would say it's definitely another one of those ults that are in the D tier. However, I don't want it changed because I think it's the only thing that's really good for her, especially because she's OP in her own regard. But definitely, it's just definitely a dumb ult, but you can survive it easy. Like it's only used with a ult combination. That's the only way it's good, especially if she throws it and there's like a Ryan in the other team, and you can throw the Diva Bomb in there and then hack everyone, and then everyone's dead. So, yeah. Next, what is this? I don't want to say this is this Symmetra's wall? Some of these I'm kind of fuzzy on the emblems, so I'll use it as the Symmetra wall, but unsure. But with the Symmetra wall, I guess it depends on. I think it's also definitely not. I think definitely not as bad as the EMP or like the hack. The wall is just like, it's just there. It's not really the greatest thing to happen in the whole grand scheme of things, but it is what it is. And we have Torp's Molten Core. This is a very good ult. Used when what's like just used in an ult combination or just in general. Brings high damage, like fire damage on someone. It's definitely got to be up here. I'd say it's almost in the same regards as the Mei ult, so I'm gonna put it above the Diva Bomb. Yeah, very good, very situational use because it can be avoidable, depends on the situation, but I would say it's very solid. Um, so next, Tracer's Pulse Bomb. Now, I'm gonna put it pretty high up. Probably more high than I should. Um, Definitely, at least I think, if you stick it on someone, it's definitely up here. I would probably say right here behind the Diva Bomb. Because, you're, at least in some occasions, you could do it as a solo and you could get like some of the supports. It has a fast ult charge, which is also very good too. But you can stick it on someone and get an easy kill, or you can stick it on people when you throw an ult combination, get a bunch of kills. But it feels like a lot of situations an ult combination is very nice. However, that's just the part that kind of sucks, is that it's really you would have to think more outside the box if you don't have like a Zarya on your team or someone else that can be able to ult combination with you, like an Orisa ult. Overall, it's definitely like kind of like one of those things. But for me, I love the Tracer Pulse one because also it's another one of my mains. So I give it the love it deserves. And I remember the times too where it had a buff. It was like, I think 450 damage, maybe 400 damage, and it would just kill everyone nearby, and it would have a bigger blast radius. No, it doesn't. I think it's like it's 350 damage. You have to be a lot closer with it, but still very good ult, very situational. Next we have Widow's. I don't even know what it's called, but you get to see through walls basically, which it's not bad. I would probably say it would go top of D, because it's just kind of there. It's like meh. You get to see through walls. That's cool. At least you get to see where the team's going. But that's all they really can do. Now, that's not really the greatest ability. It won't change the effect of a team fight. It would only change the effect to where people can throw it all and get prepared and get ready to throw something. So that's the only way I can see it being good. But yeah, I would say it's definitely just down there. Next is Winston's, is it Rage form? I guess, he breaks his glasses and, he's going off. It's definitely on the same regards as the Moira, Brig, and Roadhog ult. Basically, it doesn't really do damage, but it can step people away. But you have to be in a positional map like any other Eos and stuff like that to be able to use it effectively. I would say it'd probably be on the same. If I could put both Roadhog and Winston's ults in the same tier, they're like neck and neck for me. So it's not really bigger or like better or less than better. They're kind of both in the same regard. Maybe Winston's is a little less better. So I'll throw it like that. Next is Ball's Mines, which I would say they're very good. Especially, you can throw an ult in there and you put everyone together. I'd probably. I'm trying to also I know you can play open queue and play more than 2 tanks, but I'm looking more at from a role, competitive role perspective. So 1 tank, 2 DPS, 2 supports. because you could make a case where basically like you could grab people with the Ursa ult when you put the ult down and just kill a bunch of people, which sounds like a smart idea, which it is. But I mean they're there. I think I'm gonna put it like right here. I'd say definitely it's very situational as well. I mean, you can just throw it on the point and just call it a day. It charges up really fast too, so you're able to use it a lot more in games, which is nice. So it's a very good ult, I would say. Um, Again, like it's like one of those things that really helps out. Zarya's ult, which I'm happy. I mean, I'm excited to finally get to. That means we're very close to finishing this, and this is gonna be probably the shortest podcast episode. Um, I am going to put this a lot lower because I'm looking at the alt solely, not on just like alt and how it is used like solely, not as in like an alt combination. For me, I would probably put it maybe top of C tier, because in like I'm thinking in terms of like if you get everyone in the ult, you're like at 90% charge on Zarya, and you can just kill a bunch of people in there. That's a very good play, especially because they're standing still. It's really easy to kill them, stuff like that. So I would say it is very solid, but it doesn't have a lot of power, and also it could definitely get also eaten by a diva. Like I mean, you just have to use it situationally, especially since Zarya is a counter to diva. You have to watch out when you throw it so diva doesn't eat it. So next, Zenyatta's Tranquility. It's definitely very good. I really enjoy it. They're like it basically keeps people alive, especially in big team fights. So I'd say it's definitely on the same regards as a Lucio ult, but maybe even better for me, considering that it actually has invincibility to it. I mean, with Lucio's it's kind of invincibility, but like with Zen's it's actually invincibility. So, okay, we have Sojourn's shots, where basically her gun charges up on its own, and you can just do a bunch of shots. For me, I think it's probably right here in the B. It's very good. It's definitely not as good as like Attack Visor. With it, that's kind of just how it is. Then yeah, and also like it depends on if you can actually hit your shots. Unlike the Attack Visor, which has a direct aimbot, which is nice. But with the difference between Soldier and Sojourn is that Soldier has not as much versatility as Sojourn does, because Sojourn's got that slide and stuff like that, and those kinds of things. If you asked me before the buff on Joker Queen, this would probably be also in the D tier. Now since they kind of buffed her, if you have like a bunch of people around you, it's the same thing I'm thinking with the Zarya ult. It also does a bleeding effect, so people are like a anti-healed, so you can't heal people. So it definitely deserves to be higher up on here. So I think for me, ooh, this is tough. Because I'm thinking like B, because like it's not really used much, but also like A because it has that anti-healed effect, and also people are getting hurt while they all happened, like after it happened, and like the whole team can just rush in and kill them all. Ooh. I'm gonna put it right here, right here. I think that's a very solid point to put it, considering when you throw the ult, it causes a bleeding effect, which is damaging everyone that you hit by it. So if you hit everyone, then it injures everyone. So Then there's the anti-heal too, which so you can kill the whole team that way. It's very solid, very good. Yeah, A tier is where I'm going with that one. Like a lot of these tiers, I feel like conflicted on because I think every single all I ever watch, at least for a couple that are in the D tier, I think they're all very good and don't need to be changed at all because they're all specifically to their character, and they all work well. It just depends how good you are in the game. It's how you play. Is your play style good enough? Like, are you helping out the team? Are you not helping out the team? Are you just focusing on yourself? Like, there's a lot of factors that go into this ultimate tier list, especially when we get to these last few. Like with a couple support ults and our last few tank ones. So we have Kiriko's Kitsune. Definitely, this is probably another one of the best support ults. It's so versatile in so many ways. I think for me, it's going to be at least up here. I think it's going to be second in S tier. For the reason being that, like, if you throw it, it's just in a set pattern, which doesn't mean it's the only bad part of it. It's a set pattern. And the whole team gets a buff in damage, speed, especially for D.Va. This goes crazy. Or even like with Lucio's speed too, like it's double the speed, like double, triple, quadruple the speed maybe. It's absolute insanity, and you can take out an entire team fast by having this on your roster. Especially with the next alt we have is Ramontra's alt. If you asked me a while ago before the nerf, this would definitely be number one. Like before the nerf of this alt, the timer wouldn't go down if someone was inside the circle, which is absolutely insane. Now it slowly goes down when someone's in there, but it's still very good. So it's definitely up here. For me, I think it's probably in third. I think it's still versatile in so many ways. There's a lot of things you can do with it. You can have people combo with it, not even with ults, just like if you have people on your team. But again, we're looking at it through a solo perspective, especially at least like we can't do that a lot with the support ults because you need people in a lot of those situations. But with the tank ults, I'm trying to not think of it that way of just hey, I need someone to make this ult good. So I think it's good on its own, especially when you're fighting like squishies, like other DPS and supports, and even fighting up against a tank. It depends on which one too. It's definitely a very good ult. Next we have Lifeweaver's Tree. Now Lifeweaver's Tree is also very good. Like these ones are like definitely in the solids tier. Like at least I think probably these last few ults are probably going to be the S tier, maybe except for Elari's ult, and I'll explain why later. But I think this is like up here. The tree is definitely so good in so many positions. You can use it to block people in too, which makes it really funny. You can block off paths. You get at least a really good amount of healing during it too. Like probably one of the best of the support ults, especially when you're not really doing that much. And during the ult. So yeah, it's definitely up in there in the S tier. Now, I was saying earlier how Laurie's, I don't think, for me, it would be up in the S tier, which you would think, especially from when she first came out, how she was getting quad feeds with her ult all the time. But for me, it's kind of like you need an ult combination, like a Zarya ult, to do this. So for me, I think at least it's going to be in the top 3 in A. Another thing that goes into a factor is that D.Va can also eat it. Like, I mean, that's the problem with a lot of the ults, that D.Va can eat the ult. And that causes problems, especially losing that ult charge to get an ult and then just throw it, and then you have to start from square one again. And then you could have lost a team fight from doing that. So you have to bait out that D.Va bomb, that D.Va defense matrix, my bad. So you always have to have that as a factor when going into a team fight, is that if you're facing up against a diva, make sure you don't throw it to where like she can eat it, and that causes bad problems for your team. Finally, we have Maui's chain, like I guess like cage match. I think that's what it's called. Definitely a very good ult. It alone, no, I'm conflicted. I think I might change some things up after I throw this where I want to throw it, at least in its own categories, because I think I had some different opinions now. But for me, because it is good, but also like when you're stuck in there with Maui, like when Maui's stuck in there, he's stuck in there. So if he puts the whole team in there, let's just say, and he's solo ult, he's only there by himself. He screwed up badly. Um, I would say it's probably right here in B. Now it seems very controversial to put in there, especially because it is a pretty good ult if you have all combinations to do it with. Like if, again with an Alari ult, and that works well with an Alari ult, and that can take out a lot of people. So with that, I'm putting that there. um, But yeah, I want to take this time. These last 5 down here, these are from Overwatch 1, so I'm not going to need to work on them because they're irrelevant now. But yeah, we're only just focusing on the Overwatch 2 alts. The ones that are here and now since Season 9's out. And we got focused towards the ones that are good and what are not good. I think I might do some changing here because now I'm starting to think about it a lot more. Divas all deserve more respect. I think same with Boss Bomb. Not because they're my mains. I think they just deserve more. I think at least with the May and Torb's alts, I was liking them too much, especially what they give. Labor's ult is there. I think Tagvisor even better here. And then, yeah. Then Tranquility is better. And I think that's a lot better of a list for me. Because these ones aren't really, they're like, not bad. I think this was pretty solid for me. Maybe this is a little better. Yeah, I agree with those. Maybe that's a little better. Actually, it's probably a little better than that. No, I was trying to think about it. Yeah, no, I think the Passional is definitely better than those. Yeah, then we have Bob. We have Zarya's. I think these are all. Actually, no, this is. Actually, this one can be helpful. This one's actually the worst. No, I'm starting to think this is a close tie between these two because they can both be good. Yeah, I think that's a lot better. All right, here is the tier list for Overwatch Ults. Again, obviously, as I said, I tried to take out my bias in a lot of these. Some of them do seep through the cracks. I'm sorry. I hope people don't blame me too much in the comments if anyone's even commenting. But so we have Echo, Diva, Kiriko, Tracer, Ramattra, Lifeweaver, Sojourn. It's not. I said Sojourn. Soldier, Zenyatta, Lucio, May, Torb, Farah, and Baptiste. Then we have Ryan, Junker, Alari, Sigma, McCree, Ball, Orisa, and Anna. Then we have Reap, Diva again, Maui, Sojourn, Doomfist, Genji. Then we have Zarya, Ash, Bastion, Roadhog, Winston, Brig, and now I'm just forgetting all these names. Moira. Then we have Oh man, this is pretty rough. Then I have Hanzo, Sombra, Symmetra, Widow, and Mercy. But yeah, this is the tier list. If you have any comments or opinions, put them down in the comments. It's all appreciated. Also put down in the comments what you want to see next in the tier list, or if you want to see something different out of this podcast. Like, when we see, I was thinking about taking like BuzzFeed quizzes or something like that, or like doing personality tests. I think that'd be really funny with a bunch of friends to do. Um, so yeah, if you want to do any of that, put in the comment section. If that'd be funny. Uh, like, comment, subscribe if you want. Definitely, it would really help me out and make me feel better about this. So yeah, this is it. I'll see you.